Most family offices believe Bitcoin custody is a security problem. Well, that's only the first problem. At scale, it becomes a governance vulnerability. There's a profound difference between a system that is cryptographically secure and one that is institutionally governed. Most professionals evaluate self custody through hardware and architecture. A multi-sig setup is configured, devices are secured, metal key backups are geographically distributed, and the problem is considered solved. But secure hardware is not a true institutional control environment. Traditional wealth management relies on compliance, insurance, legal protections, intermediaries, and operational recourse acting as a safety net. Bitcoin operates differently. Bitcoin demands flawless execution. The network does not recognize intent, hierarchy, legal context, or corporate bylaws. It recognizes only valid cryptographic execution, and that creates a dangerous assumption inside many sophisticated setups. The belief that visible controls, reporting dashboards, and asset tracking automatically equal operational resilience and anti-fragility. In many cases, they do not. Most people treat Bitcoin custody like a static vault door. The structure is built, devices are stored, the process is documented. Problem solved. But a Bitcoin vault is not a static object. It is a living software environment. And while the vault sits untouched, the surrounding ecosystem continues evolving. Firmware and hardware standards change, wallets require software updates, recovery dependencies shift, cryptographic assumptions mature. We call this systemic protocol drift because an untouched vault is not necessarily a stable vault. In many cases, it is a decaying vault. The question is no longer, are the assets secure today? The question is now, can this architecture still be reliably operated under stress 5 or 10 years from now? And those are two completely different questions. Traditional finance institutions depend on remediation protocols. If a wire is misdirected, there are procedures in place. If fraud occurs, there are investigations. If documentation fails, there are legal recovery pathways. Bitcoin removes that layer entirely. Execution is final. Traditional finance assumes reversibility. Bitcoin assumes precision. The blockchain does not evaluate intent. It does not review corporate bylaws. It does not care who approved the transaction. It evaluates only whether the operational execution was valid. And that changes the standards entirely. In cryptographic systems, a single moment of ambiguity under pressure is not an inconvenience. It is an irreversible settlement event. And if an operational framework still leaves room for interpretation, like undocumented recovery logic, human improvisation, or reliance on institutional memory during a crisis, the risk has not been eliminated. It has simply not been fully quantified. Another blind spot is what we call the verification gap. Most families verify Bitcoin custody through reporting. Balances appear on dashboards, statements are generated, internal memos confirm that assets are secured, but visibility is not verification. A board may see a 9-figure allocation reflected perfectly on a reporting screen while having no independent ability to verify recovery readiness, reconstruct transaction capability, validate signing dependencies, or operate the architecture without outside assistance. That creates a dangerous form of institutional blindness. Because many family offices have institutionalized reporting around Bitcoin without institutionalizing the operational survivability. If the operational integrity depends entirely on a vendor platform, a single technical operator, a cloud environment, or undocumented procedural knowledge, governance becomes a performative act rather than resiliency or anti-fragility. An asset that cannot be independently operated or verified by the institution under adverse conditions is not fully institutional custody. It is just trust layered on top of opaque infrastructure. These weaknesses usually remain invisible until reality introduces stress into the system. A legal dispute, an incapacity event, an executive departure, a hardware failure, a cloud outage, a corrupted recovery sequence under time or pressure. That is when institutions discover whether they possess true operational continuity or merely just operational assumptions. And this is the uncomfortable reality. Most family offices have never conducted a full digital asset continuity simulation under realistic conditions. The vault exists, the devices exist, the legal structures exist, but the operational survivability of the architecture itself has never truly been tested. In institutional terms, that is an unverified control environment. The solution is not abandoning sovereignty or self-custody and is not blindly outsourcing to third parties. The solution is operational governance. The same rigor that is applied to treasury systems, liquidity controls, and enterprise risk management must now extend to sovereign digital assets. That means continuous architecture review, transition event simulations, operational redundancy, vendor independence planning, documented recovery sequencing, cryptographic lifecycle management, and governance frameworks that are designed to survive decades of technological evolution. Because at scale, Bitcoin is no longer just an investment position, it becomes infrastructure. And infrastructure without governance eventually becomes fragility. The question is no longer whether a family office holds Bitcoin at all. The question is whether the institution itself can reliably operate digital sovereign assets across decades. The family offices that succeed in digital wealth will not necessarily be those with the largest allocations. They will be the ones with the most operationally resilient architectures. At Sovereign Vault, we help families and institutions identify hidden continuity vulnerabilities inside sovereign digital asset systems. We do not take custody. We do not reduce sovereignty. We build institutional grade operational continuity around sovereign bearer assets. Because the greatest risk to digital wealth is rarely volatility. It is invisible operational fragility hidden inside systems that everyone assumes will work forever. I'm Caleb Hamill. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.